The Greys do and the Orions do. The reptilians tend to live off flesh. That's not an area I like to go into much. But according to the anomalies, the last 25 years, the reptilians that are on the planet are responsible for over 30,000 children disappearing. I get in a lot of trouble when I talk in full circles about this. You can't talk about that, Alex. Why not? In Westchester County, New York, in the last 3 years, 5,000 children have disappeared without a trace. Westchester County, New York. George Andrews, E.T. Friends and Foes, he's got a huge section in his book around that. And nobody wants to talk about it. You know, denial is the dragon we all have to slay. Right now. It isn't Lucifer, it isn't Satan, it's denial. Denial of our own divinity and responsibility.
I feel like if there's another civilization out there that's more advanced than our civilization, I feel like we would have found out by now. But at the same time, if they are more advanced than we are, they probably have the technology to cloak themselves from us seeing them. So like, I don't know, man. Whatever that guy was talking about, it's like one of those conversations where you're just like, no one really knows. And these are all assumptions. These are all conspiracy theories. So, hey, man, they might have that type of technology where they can watch us, but we can't see them. Like, they could be watching us right now and we don't even know, right? Like,
a massive food fight broke out in McDonald's after staff got a customer's order wrong. In the clip, a woman could be seen leaping over the counter, throwing their drink in the staff's face. The staff then decided to fight back by throwing chips, burgers and ice cream at the woman. The fight escalated into a restaurant-wide brawl in which one of the members of staff throws a bin over a man. The customer then retaliates by picking up the bin and throwing it back over the counter. The fight is eventually brought to a halt after the straw holder is knocked over and the woman is picked up and dragged out of the restaurant. This chaotic meal happened in McDonald's in Amsterdam.
I was about to say, that's pretty crazy. Like, yo, if I was working there, as soon as I see the fight get like just a little bit worse, I'm out of there, man. I'm out of there, cause like, you gotta think about the mess after the food fight or how whatever that was, man. Like the mess, like it probably took them a couple of days to clean up all that food and garbage just like everywhere, man. But like honestly, I'm out of there before it gets like super worse. There's so much people in the store too. That's another thing. Like, and I had a feeling that it was another country too. I think the guy was saying it was in Amsterdam, Holland. So like, I was wondering if it was Canada or not. But like, I don't know, man. I feel like that wouldn't happen in Canada. Or maybe it could. I don't know. I'm thinking about like the mess, man. Nobody wants to have like a bunch of garbage just like thrown at them. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if that happened in Canada, people are just going to leave before it escalates to that level. Or people are actually like fist fighting, not like food fighting, right? Like they're just throwing food and like drinks around. So
Ooh, child, y'all heard the news about that girl Bardays or whatever her name is, Artasia Big Ass? Yes. She's going down for lying to police. She said her son got kidnapped when she was pulling over trying to change her tire. But push forward, what happened was the damn her and the little boy got into it. Little boy, her little son got into it. She pulled over. You know how black folks do, they pull over and say, "Get the fuck out my car." She told him to get out. And when he got out, I guess she pulled off before he actually got out, and he scraped himself up and she drove off and left him. She tried to look for him. She said she couldn't find him, so she kept going and said, "Fuck it. He get it how he get it." When she called the police said, "This, my son done got kidnapped." Said her son was kidnapped. Son ain't been kidnapped the whole time. The little nigga running around in the woods somewhere. People done found the little boy. The little boy told the police, "My mama tried to run me over with the car and left me." This hoe going to jail. Bad parents. Where the baby daddy at? Because she don't need that goddamn child no more.
yeah, man, that story is pretty messed up, man. Like, I know there's parents that physically discipline their kids, and sometimes like they actually have to, you know what I'm saying? Like, some kids are like bad kids. They'll be talking back to their parents and they be doing all kinds of stuff. So like sometimes the kid actually needs that. But in that situation, the parent definitely could have like kept her cool, you know, especially if she's driving on the road. Like, you don't really have the time to be like pulling over and like trying to teach like your kid a lesson by like driving off, kicking them out of the car and driving off. Like, that's pretty crazy, especially how young the kid was. Pretty sure it looks like the kid is like maybe 6, 7 years old. For her to do that, like, I mean, you could have just like got home and then as soon as you get home, then, you know, like try to discipline your kid if your kid's being bad. But like, thank God the kid didn't die, right? Like, that could have been such a worse situation. Like, she drives off and maybe like the kid gets hit by a car or gets stranded and maybe like the parent gets lost or something like that. Like, I feel like a lot of different things could have happened in that scenario where the kid got hurt or like killed, you know, and like the situation could have been so much worse. So thank God like the kid didn't actually get lost and he's like completely fine. And it looks like the parent got charged and thrown to jail. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool, but at the same time, it could be like risky to like have somebody in a wheelchair crowd surf, right? He's having that the guy that's in the wheelchair is probably having the time of his life. Obviously, like, you know what I'm saying? You're in a wheelchair and people are helping you up so you can crowd surf. Like, that's pretty dope. Not gonna lie, but it's like, yo, that's a safety hazard, man. Like, imagine the people holding up the wheelchair, and what if the guy in the wheelchair falls off, like drops on the ground, and then the chair like hits like somebody in the crowd, and it's a wheelchair, so there's like all kinds of like sharp edges to it that can like really damage somebody if the guy were to fall or something like that, right? And you gotta also think about how many like people are drunk or on drugs or whatever. I mean, like, it's a concert, you know what I'm saying? That's just how concerts are. Like, that's another thing to think about, man. But pretty dope to see though. Like, you don't see that often. That sucks. Shit. Yeah, so like, even though it's illegal to sneak into a country just like that, you know, passing the border like that, like, part of me wants them to like succeed. Like, part of me is rooting for them, maybe because it's like a family and it's not just like one person trying to sneak in like drugs or something like that. It clearly looked like a family trying to make it over the border to escape whatever they're trying to escape from, the country they're coming from, right? So like, part of me wants them to successfully pass the border and live a better life. I guess it's the people who are trying to sneak like illegal stuff into the country. Those people, you want them to remain in their own country, obviously. But like, yeah, it's illegal no matter what. So the people who are strict on the laws, they want like a stronger wall to be built, like just like Trump, right? But yeah, that, like, watching something like that makes me like want to root for them to like pass the border, because like they seem like innocent people that just want to live a better life. That's pretty sick. Yeah, it is. It's Toronto. It looks like the type of Batman that you can use in like a movie or some type of like commercial or something like that. Very detailed costume. Even the Batmobile, man, like it looks like they're maybe shooting a movie or something like that. Maybe I know they use Toronto a lot for movies, so that could have been the case. But crazy costume, man. Yo, that like I actually look like Batman.